Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Starting us off on News 6 at 6:30, a massive winter storm finally pushing off the East Coast today, but not before it dumped piles of snow across the central and eastern U.S. Unfortunately, that snow may not be going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, an Arctic blast is coming on the heels of the storm. And obviously, there is no snow here, but Central Florida is not exempt from the cold weather. Frost advisories and freeze warnings have been issued for parts of our area. Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Mormith. We want to send it right over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas to explain what lies ahead. Even colder tomorrow morning than this morning, right?
Yeah, that's right. And it's going to be weird. It might feel maybe a little bit warmer because the winds are going to back off just a touch. But nonetheless, no matter how you slice it, we're starting things off tomorrow into the 30s and 40s across most of Central Florida. Again, big time system brought us the colder air. That's the same system that you saw there in the video that brought parts of the D.C. area, parts of West Virginia, Virginia, into Pennsylvania. All of that snow. Highs tomorrow only going to top out into the upper 50s. That's pretty much where we were today. We had a lot of spots in the mid 50s this afternoon, but we're going to be talking about temperatures tonight getting a little bit colder. Again, the positive of the bunch, even though it's going to be colder, the wind is going to back off significantly. So that insult to injury that we had late last night and early this morning, that's at least going to go away. We're going to talk much more about that and if there's any warmth in sight. A little bit of a teaser. There's not a ton in the 7-day forecast. We're going to pinpoint that, guys, in about 15 minutes.
We're going to try and find it, though. All
yeah,
right.
we
Thank
will.
you, Jonathan. You can always keep tabs on daily temps and check the live radar by downloading our free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app. Search WKMG in your app store.
Well, we know the cold snap is hard on the plants at home, but freezing temperatures especially take a toll on those who make plants their livelihood.
Yeah, in Pearson, several ferneries are still dealing with damage from Hurricane Milton, gearing up for their busy season and now trying to keep their plants warm. News 6's Molly Reed went to one of them to find out how they're managing it all.
The team here at Alvin Hagstrom Ferneries has over 500 acres spread out around Pearson here and other areas with a lot of ferns like these that they have been getting ready to brace this cold. And with floral arrangements about to be in their most high demand, they have been working overtime to protect them.
Valentine's Day is our Super Bowl. We'll start cutting right the day after Christmas. We started working every day, all day.
And for Eric Hagstrom, part of that work is also preparing for potential cold snaps like this that could take out the ferns.
This is 65 to 70% of most floral business sales.
Hagstrom showing us the system his family developed that hopefully will keep the plants warm.
So as the temperature drops, we'll first turn on the overhead sprinklers, and that's above the saran, and that will coat everything in water. And then as the temperature reaches freezing, that will freeze, and it'll create like an igloo effect. So this will really fill up with a lot of steam. And that will save those plants.
This year, like many other Pearson ferneries, Hagstrom is also trying to make up for what was lost in Hurricane Milton back in October. He says it cost them about 10 acres of plants.
We need every acre, available during these rush times, and so that will impact us after Valentine's Day, because the crops we have now will be everything we have until April 1st.
Which could affect their supply for Easter and Mother's Day. Now, the hope is Mother Nature will be on their side to help them keep growing.
Well, first thing we do is pray. You've been dealt the hand, right? So everything that you've done prior is so important, and that's when we count on nature to at least give us a few days in between each cold snap.
In Pearson, Volusia County, and Molly Reed getting results, News 6.
You think we care about the weather? Oh boy, do they really? That is their livelihood.
That, yeah.
Absolutely.
And a
you
lot
gotta
goes
think,
into protecting them
absolutely,
too.
Absolutely, and wishing them all the best. I know it's some of it, and a lot of it is out of their control. They can only do so much.
Yeah, and thank goodness we don't get weather like this all the time.
Right.
Well, Orange County has a new supervisor of elections today. Karen Castor-Dental takes over from Glenn Gilzine.
There's still unfinished business from the former Orange County supervisor of elections, who's accused of overspending the office's bank account by more than $1 million. News 6's Laverne McGee was at the supervisor of elections office and explains what happens with the controversy now that Castor-Dental is taking over.
The supervisor had told us there were no more outstanding checks, no more outstanding bills, but I think there were outstanding bills.
At this morning's Orange County Board of Commissioners meeting, Comptroller Phil Diamond discussed the work he was doing to ensure finances are in order as new Orange County Supervisor of Elections Karen Castor-Dental takes office. Commissioners restored funding to the office after they stopped paying former Supervisor of Elections Glenn Gilzine. They claimed he was overspending and did not get authorization to spend money on scholarships to Valencia College and new voting sites.
So we don't know what we don't know. The only thing I can say is that we remain optimistic that we will find the office in proper order. And if it's not, then someone's going to be held accountable for that, whether that is in the court of public opinion or in the court of law.
Incoming Supervisor of Elections Karen Castor-Dental says she intends to get the scholarship money back that originally started the disagreement between the county and Gilzine.
I have instructed my council to work with our partners at Orange County, at Valencia College Foundation and the Central Florida Foundation to recover taxpayer funds. And while these organizations they're pillars of our community, have been drawn into this situation through no fault of their own, it is vital that funds are returned to ensure the integrity of our elections.
We spoke with Gilzine after Castor-Dental's press conference, who maintains he did not do anything wrong and checked with his attorneys on all matters before spending money.
It was a political witch hunt from day one, and it's all because I was appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis. I am proud of the work we did, and I hope that the new supervisor sees that work and maintains some of it, because at the end of the day, we want her to succeed, because if she succeeds, Orange County voters succeed.
Laverne McGee, Getting Results, News 6.
Well, the public now has the opportunity to visit former President Jimmy Carter. This is a live look now from the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., where the 39th president now rests after traveling from Atlanta to the nation's capital.
People will be allowed to visit Carter's casket starting at 7 o'clock tonight until Thursday morning. The casket will then travel to Washington National Cathedral for his national funeral service.
2 students are now facing charges after both Lake Brantley High School and nearby Forest City Elementary School were placed on code red yesterday. Police say the high school students were spotted firing what appeared to be a weapon.
Scary situation. Turns out, though, it was a toy gun, but officials are taking this seriously. News 6's Catherine Silver is at Lake Brantley High looking into what happened and what consequences the 2 are now facing.
Altamont Springs police say there were 4 kids standing here across the street from Lake Brantley High School, and one of them was holding a toy gun. But as you can imagine, the people driving by didn't know it was a toy. The 2 women who did see it told officers exactly why they were so concerned about it in this police report. They told officers they saw one of the kids holding that weapon and pointing it at another kid. He fired it. They heard about 20 pops. The kid fired into the air, was laughing, and even hit one of the other kids. The whole thing was being recorded.
They were just shooting each other, playing around while I went to go past them to go pick up my son, and then when I went back, they were still playing with that same gun.
Our News 6 team spoke to parents at pickup, concerned after both Lake Brantley and Forest City Elementary School were placed on code red.
You never know, is that a real gun?
Did it look real?
It didn't look real, but it did look suspicious, and then playing with a gun around school campus ain't the smartest thing to do.
In a statement, a spokesperson for the school district said it was out of an abundance of caution and confirmed the weapon was a toy Orbeez gun. We requested records from police of what that toy looks like so we could show you, but they couldn't share pictures from an open case. Online, you can buy a variety of the toy weapons, often called gel blasters or gel soft guns. They're like airsoft guns, but shoot water-soaked pellets instead of bullets. We've seen kids get in trouble before for driving around and shooting them at people. In 2022, 2 teens were arrested in Volusia County.
So there's little green pellets in here, the little plastic ones.
In this case, Altamont Springs police arrested 2 kids, both students at Lake Brantley High School. They're facing charges for disrupting school pickup and trespassing. In Seminole County, Catherine Silver, Getting Results, News 6.
Well, after flooding from Hurricane Milton caused a Mount Dora road to collapse, Lake County officials say they have the plan to fix it, but they can't do it alone.
And News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez breaks down what leaders say is causing the holdup.
Britt Road here in Mount Dora has been closed off for months after Hurricane Milton washed it out, cutting off a straight route home for many and leading to even more traffic on major roads around it.
I wish we could move faster. We know it's really inconvenient, but we're doing all the things we can do at the same time so that we're ready to get in there.
Lake County Board Chair Leslie Campione tells me the commission has been working on the issue since it happened. Her constituents who rely on the road for their commutes are now forced to take State Road 44, which was already congested.
It's really bad. And then this happened. So it's really made the problem worse. I hear from a lot of residents, they're unhappy.
Campione says the process is complicated because of several factors. Specialized engineering is required to repair it properly because of spring activity. As it is a federal aid highway, they need approvals from the U.S. Department of Transportation and FDOT for funding grants. Right of entry agreements and a purchase agreement from one or more adjacent landowners are also needed. The county would need to buy some of the land here because they want to not only fix the road, but redesign it to ensure that something like this never happens again. Campione says they're considering a variety of possibilities. Is eminent domain an option for you guys or no?
Well, that's a tough word. It's a tough phrase. People don't like to hear that, but there are times, especially in road projects, where that comes into play. We're trying to avoid that, but I mean, certainly when you can't get cooperation and you have a need of this nature that benefits and serves the public at large, it would have to be on the table. But I think that right now we're making some headway working with property owners, and I think we're going to get there.
The estimated cost is $1 to $2 million, with construction likely taking 7 to 8 months after they acquire the land.
Just to ask people to be as patient as they can and just let them know that we understand and we're working on it. It's a daily priority as far as Lake County is concerned.
In Mount Dora, Stephanie Rodriguez, Getting Results, News 6.
Yeah, got to be a pretty upsetting thing, especially you live around there, but also from their standpoint, as far as like funding delays, I mean, that's government, right? Happens. All right, let's take a look at what's trending right now on Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. Hot spots, the best places to see manatees in Florida. Oh, yeah. It's one of the top charting stories, and during the winter months, manatees typically head inland to Florida waterways, right? Waiting out the colder months and those warmer temps. As a result, they can be found in plenty of the Sunshine State's springs and state parks. Florida Fish and Wildlife named the best spots to see manatees in a top choice Blue Springs State Park in Orange City. Just deal with the crowds to get a good look, because everyone knows. You can find the rest of the list by going to clickorlando.com. And yes, I will throw my stamp of approval on something that you should do if you have not seen those manatees up close. It's just
you were there when I fell in love with manatees when we were doing that continuous coverage of the manatees that were stuck in the pipe. Oh my gosh. There were like 19 or 20 of them.
I'm trying to, is it 10 or 11 years? It's been 10 or 11 years since Satellite Beach, no, I'll never forget that.
And I just remember, I'm like, oh, they're so precious. And I just got into town. Yeah, they really are. All right, here are some of the other trending stories right now over on clickorlando.com. Hitting the road to the birthplace of speed. News 6 is taking our newscast back to the road, on the road, I should say, in 2025, and we are kicking things off in Ormond Beach. The coastal community has a diverse history dating back several centuries. It was also the site of the first time automobile race in 1903. So if you live in Ormond Beach, tell us what makes your community so special, what challenges your community might be facing, and we hope we can help get some results for you. All right, these two Florida spots are among the best places to travel in 2025. Travel and Leisure released its list of top 50 places to travel. 2 popular spots in the Sunshine State made it onto the list. You can check out which those are by going to clickorlando.com. I haven't seen the list, but let me hope I can tell you, you know what I'm about to say. Alice Beach.
Alice Beach.
I just discovered it for the
I think the
first
people
time.
of like 30A who have been going there for like years.
Like, shut up.
They're like, enough with
Yeah.
the TikTok and all the people coming through there.
I did not feel like I was in Florida anymore. I felt like I was in the Mediterranean.
It's an insane place.
Dynamic.
I do have a feeling though on that list, because they make every list, Naples. I feel like
Oh,
Naples
it's gotta
has
be.
gotta
Yeah.
be. They're
All right,
always
I'm
on
gonna check
top
it
of
out.
these lists. Yeah.
Well, the snow came down in parts of the country, and many people enjoy being in a winter wonderland.
But it's not just people who enjoy the snow. Still ahead, how a pair of giant pandas acted like some little kids with this weather phenomenon. Also ahead, you may have felt it this morning. It's pretty cold, right?
Oh, yeah.
It is the talk of the water cooler, and our handy newsman is walking us through how to protect your plants against the bitter temps. That's coming up next.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30, live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results for Ocala, Melbourne, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, taking a live look now from the Launch Credit Union Port Cam, overlooking Port Canaveral, and it is a breezy Port Canaveral. Not ideal.
What gave it away?
Those palm trees just whipping in the wind, and it's fine if it's 85 degrees. That's what you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Not great if it's like 50.
Yeah, it's not very tropical outside today. No, the wind is going to back off a little bit. We're seeing that already inland. We are still dealing with the kind of closer to the Atlantic effects there right along the Space Coast and up through Flagler County and for us into Volusia County. As that wind backs off a little bit and the skies clear, we will watch the temperatures drop. Coldest night of the season inbound and likely even a degree or two colder again tomorrow night. Rain on the forecast as we get towards the weekend, especially the first half. That's going to be another cold front that's going to reinforce the cold that we have going on right now. So ups and downs coming our way over the next week, and then really looks like we're going to see these rounds of cold going through about the third week of January before we start to moderate our temperatures a little bit. 45 right now in Mount Dora. We're at 46 in Ocala, 44 degrees in Palm Coast. We're in the 50s right now along the Space Coast. That's where we topped out today. 57 degrees was our afternoon high temperature at the climate spot at the Orlando International Airport there. That's good enough for the coldest afternoon since way back last January, January 14th. That is the last time we were 57 degrees or colder. Cold morning ahead. For that, here's a look at your Pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
We are back to the 30s and 40s. We'll likely touch 40 in Orlando, 39 in Kissimmee Celebration. We're at 37 in Claremont. Really anywhere you see temperatures into the mid to upper 30s, that's where we're going to have the best potential for widespread frost, so especially along into the northwest of I-4, especially in Denellen. We have a freeze warning for all of Marion County now. That was just upgraded. When we talked at 6 o'clock, it was just half, 75 in the west. Now it is all of Marion County. That's for the potential and likelihood for air temperatures to bottom out at 32 degrees or colder. Not much in the rebound department tomorrow. We're at 59 in the Villages, 58 degrees in Daytona Beach, New Smyrna, same deal. 61 in Kissimmee, Holopah, good evening. We are at 62 tomorrow afternoon. Mentioned rain chances going up a little bit anyway. By the time we get to the weekend, next few days are going to be dry. We are fast forwarding now till Friday. A couple of big systems. You see the snow there. We're watching for a system to bring snow possibly as far southwest as Dallas, Fort Worth, and into the parts of the southern states. Not as far south as Florida, but this next system is going to impact us. There we go, 4 o'clock into the afternoon on Friday. And then we watch this system cross early in the morning on Saturday. That's going to increase our rain chances a little bit, and then pull down extra cold for us as we get into Sunday and into the early stages of next week. Not every day you see this. Winter storm watches up from Memphis all the way back to about Dallas, Fort Worth, into central Texas. They could be talking about several inches, maybe even measuring it in feet across parts of the South. We'll keep you posted on that. That's going to be a Thursday and a Friday, so watching especially Dallas Cotton Bowl being played in the Dallas area. 59 degrees, that's on Friday, by the way. 59 degrees on Wednesday, 58 degrees on Thursday, so staying on the chilly side. Hey, there's our warm-up, guys. We're back to the upper 60s. That's still well below normal for this time of the year, but there go our rain chances. Then we go back down a little bit as we get into the early part of next work week.
It's all relative.
All relative. It's going to feel warm.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. Well, unless your name is Frosty, you probably noticed the drop in temps when you woke up this morning with the cold weather settling in. You'll want to take special care of your plants.
Very important. News 6 handy newsman Eric Von Aken is showing us how with the help of a pro.
Hey, it's News 6 anchor Eric Von Aken, the handy newsman. We're calling this edition of Getting Results at Home proper plant protection, because when the temperature drops and it gets cold outside, we get lots of calls from people asking, how do I protect my plants so they don't die? For that answer, we go to none other than this young man. Jim Hunter is the longtime owner of South Seminole Farm and Nursery, and Jim is also a master gardener himself. There are 3 steps, really. This is the first step, what you're doing right now.
Yeah, we want our plants to be wet going into the cold weather. Their survivability is much better if they're wet. So water them the morning before the cold weather.
The key, it sounds like, you want the plant to dry, at least the leaves, before you cover it.
Yeah, you don't want wet leaves and cover those. You can get some leaf spot if you do.
Step 2, Jim, is to bring the plants inside if you can.
Yeah, if you've got potted plants or tropicals that you want to, they're in pots, you can bring them in your garage, your porch, your house, just someplace where the weather is not going to get them.
And step 3, Jim, is anything you can't take inside you want to cover.
Yeah, we want to try to cover anything that we can't take in, a vegetable garden or a strawberry field or some big potted plants that are too heavy to move.
You were telling me a house hack is to tuck the cloth under the pot.
Yeah,
if you got a pot.
With these, if you got a pot, you can put them under. But we also have ground staples, which we can actually just nail into the ground, and that holds the cloth down too.
Another house hack is the material. So this is frost cloth.
Commercial frost cloth, which breathes. It lets sunlight in. You don't want to use plastic. That doesn't really hold heat. Sheets and bedding is good too, but it emits the sunlight. So if you use sheets, You got to take them off when it gets to be daylight and it warms up, then put them back on before it gets cold again.
Okay.
With frost cloth, you can let it stay on for about 10 days, 5 to 10 days easily.
If you want to buy frost cloth, you can get this pretty much at any home improvement store.
Mm-hmm.
And I should tell you, Jim has been in this spot since 1978, right, Jim?
Yes, sir.
And you have no plans to go anywhere.
No, we're having too much fun.
I like that. So if you have any more questions, get a hold of Jim. We're at South Seminole Farm and Nursery. I'm Eric Von Anken, getting results at home. News 6.
Those are good tips.
Yeah,
Things that people don't think about. You just, like, I didn't know you covered like the trunk of the plant.
That's a big one.
Yeah, didn't know that.
Big frost blanket. What do they call? What did he call it? A frost blanket? Is that what they said?
I think that's what
Anyway, they're selling a lot of those right now, and they're making
we
their money.
probably should get it right now.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back.
Coming up in the morning, fixing up another stretch of the beach.
That's right. The city's set to spend nearly $1 million to repair hurricane damage, and why the work will take some time.
Plus, Candace will have your frosty pinpoint forecast every 10 minutes. We'll see you for News 6 morning starting at 5 a.m.
All right, you have to see this. A pair of giant pandas had a blast playing in the fresh snow at the Smithsonian's National Zoo in Washington, D.C. This is on Monday.
Hey, just
Oh my
little
God,
kids, man.
these
Look at
guys.
them going. They love it. The
That
two
doesn't
fur
look
balls,
real.
they rolled, they played in about 5 inches of snow that covered their outdoor habitat.
They're drunk.
They are at the Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute. So the zoo is not open to the public Monday because of all the weather, but you can visit the pair in their renovated habitat beginning January 24th. I could watch this all day.
Oh my gosh.
They are
Panda
just
camp.
loving life.
Look, this is what
Look
they
at
were
them go.
built
They're
for.
like, you know what? This is a lot. I like this better than summer. This is more my speed.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can't tell him anything.
No.
It's like,
No.
whatever, just come join me. You'll find out why I'm so happy.
Love it.
Thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We break news on clickorlando.com. See you back at 11. Have a good night.